North Central College's athletic programs began as simple field day community events. After 27 national championships and 111 individual national champions, the college's athletic program ranks among the elite in the nation. Today, North Central College welcomes 6 new members to its Athletic Hall of Fame. This 2011 class of inductees represents the best of the best among thousands of student athletes. As you're introduced to each inductee, you will see that in many ways their stories are similar to those of many other athletes. But they each had something extra that pushed them to greatness. John C. Jack Nothacker, class of 1960. Jack Nothacker was one of the Cardinals' top performers in his era for the football, baseball, and track and field squads. On the gridiron, Nothacker was an NAIA Little All-American in 1959, a 1959 All-CCI selection on both offense and defense, and a 1960 All-American Bowl participant. He was a 3-year track and field letter winner and a freshman record holder in discus throw. On the diamond, Nothacker was a 2-year letter winner and a starting pitcher. Byron Ware, class of 1963. On a roster full of trailblazers during North Central College's most successful era in men's swimming, Byron Ware was a major contributor to 3 NAIA team national championships. Ware was among the first African Americans in any level of collegiate swimming to win a national title. He was a recipient of 7 NAIA All-America certificates, a member of 4 straight College Conference of Illinois championship teams, the member of 3 NAIA national championship teams, and the 1961 200-yard breaststroke conference champion. Matt Richards, class of 1987. Long after his time as the pitching ace of some of the most successful baseball teams in North Central College history, Matt Richards remains a standard-bearer for future Cardinals. Richards was a 1987 NCAA Division III second-team All-American, a 2-time first-team All-CCIW selection, and was the 1987 CCIW Player of the Year. He remains the Cardinals' all-time leader in career wins, winning percentage, career shutouts, and single-season starts. Susan Bame Randazzo, class of 1990. As the first All-College Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin selection in the history of the North Central College volleyball program, Susan Bame Randazzo was a cornerstone for the Cardinals in the early days of CCIW competition. Randazzo is the only 4-time All-CCIW volleyball selection in school history, a 2-time All-CCIW volleyball tournament selection, and a member of the 1988 CCIW Championship volleyball team. Paula Monk Svora, class of 1992. Paula Monk Svora was the first female athlete to earn All-America honors in cross-country and indoor and outdoor track and field at North Central College. She was an All-American in cross-country, a 3-time All-American in track and field, the 1991 CCIW cross-country champion, and a 3-time CCIW outdoor 5,000-meter run champion. Svora graduated as the holder of 4 North Central records and is the 6th female North Central Athletic Hall of Fame inductee to have competed in track and field, but the first to have also competed in cross-country. Sean Welty, class of 1990. As North Central College's 6th individual national champion in men's track and field, Sean Welty was instrumental in establishing North Central as a perennial contender on the national scene. Welty was a 7-time NCAA Division III All-American, the 1988 Division III long jump national champion, a member of the 1989 NCAA Division III indoor and outdoor national championship teams, a member of 4 straight CCIW championship teams, and a 4-time individual CCIW champion. Congratulations to North Central College's 2011 Athletic Hall of Fame inductees. As the college celebrates its sesquicentennial, our Hall of Fame inductees leave a legacy to inspire future generations of North Central College Cardinals.
Somebody just mentioned over there I'm the closer. Never very good at baseball, which is why I guess I ended up running. I just want to thank Paula, first of all, just for asking me to be here today. It is quite an honor for me to be here in front of everybody, talk about Paula a little bit, and it's a privilege to do so for her. She gave a call, talked to Cindy, my wife, and Cindy tells me, yeah, Paula's being inducted into the Hall of Fame. She'd like you to present her on that day. And it was one of those things where you look back, and I was thrilled for her to hear that. And after I thought about it, I kind of was thinking, she had a great career, but at North Central, but it was one that really developed and blossomed very late in terms of, the national level. So I don't think she's really typical, of many of the Hall of Famers that are here and that will be presented in the future. I think, for Paula, it took some time coming in. She was unheralded, I think, coming in from Clifton, Illinois. If you know where Clifton is, you probably also know where Orion is. They're both about as obscure. But unheralded, obviously, she was not recruited by larger schools, things like that. Comes to North Central, and I think, not to say that she doesn't have expectations, but then maybe wasn't thinking, what am I going to do here? I'm just going to kind of go with the flow a little bit, kind of thing. And this honor today is very well deserved for her because I think it really typifies what a lot of really great athletes have become here at North Central. She started out, like I said, not a real heralded athlete, didn't come in as a freshman or even a sophomore and attain, All-American status, that type of thing. She did do well all conference as a freshman, and track, same thing. Sophomore kind of as all conference, but all the while she's just plugging away. Something clicks. She catches fire and just keeps picking away and picking away. Accepts all the small successes, the small victories, that come along to allow you to kind of keep going. Stays patient, stays dedicated, stays committed. All the terms that you could say about any of these men and women sitting up here today, they all have that same quality. And those are some of the great qualities Paula had as well. So when I say she wasn't typical of the Hall of Famers, I just mean that in the sense of, she didn't come in right away as an All-American type of runner. It took time. And what the great thing she did was just stick with it, keep plugging away. And by the time we get to, a point where she's as a junior, she's starting to do pretty well, She's very dedicated, just keeps hanging in there, showing up to practice every day. I can't think ever, I tried to remember a practice that she may have missed. I really can't remember one. And again, typical of the rest of the athletes that are up here today. I think maybe she was late once. I can kind of remember one time. I think she turned 21 that day. I think it involved Potter's for lunch and some fruity drinks made mostly of strawberries, I think. Kind of knew something was up when they were a little red-faced and giggly, more than usual, coming to practice. But it was an easy day, and I think she knew that, so she could get through it, and it was not a problem. But, by the time Paula got to be a junior, she was getting to the point where, hey, I'm getting pretty good at this thing here. And she qualified for the national championship as a junior, makes the indoor championships, makes All-American for the very first time as a junior in the spring, outdoors. Her senior year, cross country, she went from 76th as a junior to 18th place as a senior, and had just a phenomenal senior season. We moved on into the track season. She earned All-American status indoors, and really, just in regard to everything else I've said about her, one thing that I really, when you look at Paula, she's slight of stature, doesn't look much different than she did back in the day, but you really need to understand as a runner just how tough she was. I mean, to look at her and even to watch her when she competed, it would just look so easy. But I really think I'd like everyone to understand just the competitor that she was and how tough she was. And to look at her, you're not going to, see that like you would in maybe a big football guy or something like that that's going to be that tough. Her senior year in track, she ran, actually, I got her to run and try the 10,000 meters at Wheaton. Years previous to that, I just didn't know if she was quite strong enough yet to do it. And by the time she was a senior, Paula, you got to try this. Okay, you got to try the 10K. We run it at Wheaton. She makes the automatic standard, her first run ever in the 10,000. It's like, okay, that's good. All right, so you're qualified in the 10,000 meters. We go through the season. She qualifies as she had before, also for the 5,000 meters. We get to the championships. I believe it was Colby. I think Marcy'd have to help me there, 92, out east. Wednesday was the 10,000 meters. She runs a phenomenal race. It's her second 10,000 meter race ever, and she placed second in the country. She's just a great competitor. She had learned how to race and just did that on that day, placing second. But my story is not the 10,000 meters and getting second in your second race ever at that distance. You're out east. Marcy knows what I'm talking about. 5,000 meters was Saturday. Our last night there, a runner usually has pasta the night before. You stick with what you know. You're out east. Before you go, you got to get seafood. You have to. Well, we did. And it didn't sit well with Paula. Whatever it was, the scallops or whatever, I don't know. She was literally in the bathroom the entire night. And that's not just a stretch of my story here. She was literally. She was hurting. So much so the next day when we got up, I said, hey, listen, we don't need to do this, the 5,000 meters. And if you've ever been sick from food and things like that, I don't know if you can imagine being at a national championship, and it was a warmer day at that, which I think even made it a little tougher, but she chose to run it, and she was hurting. And I felt so bad for her because I knew if that hadn't happened the night before, if we just stuck to what we know, okay, she'd probably been battling again for a national title, okay, in the 5,000, just as she had on Wednesday. But she came out, she competed, still made 7th, and was an All-American again at 5,000 meters. And that really, I think for me, when I look back at Paula's career running, again, you don't get a sense of just how courageous that was and how tough that was, to pull that off. I mean, that takes a competitor, that takes someone that's driven, that takes someone with a lot of guts just to get out there and know you're not going to have your best day and still be able to pull something off like that was just absolutely amazing. I know we're probably running a little short on time here, so I'll wrap it up, and Mary will smile over there now because we got to move along. So without further ado, Paula Monk, Svora.
Thank you, Eric. Several years ago, I had someone ask me in a job interview, Paula, how does one become All-American? And I had to come up with something quick, and the first thing that came to mind was dedication. And they seemed satisfied with that answer, but later I reflected on it, and I thought, does that really sum it up? And I think most of the other inductees today would agree that dedication plays a big part in achieving your goals of being All-American. But there's a few other factors that I think that are important, and I'd like to share those with you today. First of all, I think it takes great coaching, and I was very lucky to have great coaches throughout high school and college. They all shared a similar approach to coaching. They emphasized the importance of having fun and wanted to help everyone reach their potential. They valued everyone equally and wanted everyone to do well. I'd like to thank my coaches throughout the years. In high school, Coach Vidovich and Coach Knope, and in college, Coach Simon and Coach Thurwachter, for helping me achieve my goals and encouraging me not to be afraid to set my goals high. Second, you need a great support system. And I wouldn't have been successful if it weren't for the encouragement and support I had from family, friends, and teammates. I'd like to thank my mom and my sister who came to a lot of my track meets and cheered for me, and especially during cross-country season when you came out and cheered for me in the rain and the snow. So I thank you for that. I'd like to thank my teammates for always supporting and believing in me, and for all the fun memories that we've shared at morning runs, practices, and at meets. And the third most important thing is you have to love what you do. And when I discovered running as a kid, I found something that I really loved to do, and I was willing to work hard at it. I learned a valuable life lesson while at North Central, and that is if you love what you do and you're dedicated to it, you can achieve success. I hope that I can instill these same values with my daughters, Alex and Adriana, as they get older, and encourage them to explore and find what it is that they love to do and to be dedicated to it. I'm really thankful for this honor today, and I'm really glad to have been a part of the women's cross-country and track programs, and to see how the programs evolved over the years, and to see the future generations continually raise the bar. I'd like to congratulate all the other inductees today, and I wish for continued success for the North Central College Women's Track and Cross-Country programs. Thank you.